Welcome to Talent Motives, the deep dive, uncovering what drives you.
So, trust your gut or, follow your instincts. It's basically the golden rule of management, right? I mean, it's on every coffee mug. But today we are doing a deep dive into a source that argues that advice isn't just outdated, it's actually dangerous.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold opening salvo. We're looking at the leadership advantage, why motivation DNA matters by Talent Motives, and their core argument is that the instinctive leader, the one who just flies on autopilot, is a massive liability in an AI-driven world.
Because autopilot works when the road is straight, right? Not when the map keeps changing on you.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to move past the how of leadership and figure out the why. This concept they call motivation DNA.
Right, and that distinction is crucial. I mean, most of us have taken a Myers-Briggs or, a DISC assessment.
Yeah.
Those are great, but they really only describe the paint job of the car. Like, are you a red, an INTJ? That is behavior.
It's what you do.
Exactly. It's what you do, but it doesn't explain the engine. It doesn't explain the fuel source.
Which the source calls the missing layer, intrinsic motivation. So two leaders might both be extroverted visionaries, but one is driven by power and the other by altruism.
And if you try to incentivize them the exact same way, one of them is going to burn out.
Fast. Which brings us to their main framework, MQ.
Yeah, motivation quotient integration.
Which is a bit of a mouthful, but in practice, it's basically an energy audit for your brain.
That is the perfect way to phrase it. It maps your motivation DNA. It's not just a personality label. It's a breakdown of what specifically energizes you and what drains your battery.
And the scary part is it identifies your derailers.
Yes.
Which I found fascinating because it's not just I am having a bad day. It is specific triggers. Like if you are a leader who requires autonomy, micromanagement doesn't just annoy you. It might actually trigger a fight or flight response that literally shuts down your cognitive function.
And you cannot gut instinct your way out of a cognitive shutdown. You need data. And this is where the source pivots from psychology to tech, introducing LiDi Ai.
Now, normally when I hear leadership AI, I immediately roll my eyes. I just picture a chatbot giving me generic fortune cookie advice like, listen more.
Right, yeah. We've all seen those.
But LiDi seems different because of the architecture under the hood.
It's not a standard chatbot at all. The source specifies that LiDi uses RAG AI retrieval augmented generation.
So for the listener who isn't a tech engineer, let's unpack that quickly. Standard AI is often like a brilliant improviser. It guesses the next word based on everything it has ever read online.
Which leads to those famous hallucinations or just generic fluff. RAG is totally different. It's like giving the AI a specific textbook and saying, you can only answer questions using the facts in this exact book.
So in this case, LiDi is restricted to a library of motivation science and executive frameworks. It can't just make things up.
Exactly. It has to cite the psychology. So it creates this closed loop. You combine that verified data with your specific MQ profile.
So I could ask it, hey, I'm really dreading this board meeting. Why?
Right. And instead of saying, take a deep breath, it looks at your profile. It says, you're dreading it because you score high on harmony and low on power, and you know there's going to be conflict. And then here's a script to navigate that without draining your energy.
It is precision coaching. Basically the difference between reading a generic health blog and having a doctor actually look at your blood work.
That's the entire value proposition. You have 24/7 access to a coach that knows exactly how your brain is wired. You aren't guessing why you clash with your CFO. You can see the actual data mismatch in your motivation profiles.
And the outcomes they list are huge. Better delegation, less burnout, clearer strategy. But to me, the biggest shift seems cultural. Moving from treating everyone the same to treating everyone how they need to be treated.
Which is highly ironic, right? We're using advanced AI to become more human-centric. The goal isn't to let the robot lead. It's to use the robot to remove your blind spots so you can lead with actual awareness.
Turning leadership from an art form into a bit more of a science?
It really does. And it leaves us with this massive question to chew on as we wrap up. If this tech scales, and we have an AI that knows exactly what motivates our employees better than they know themselves, how does that fundamentally change the nature of hiring?
Or firing.
Exactly. If the algorithm knows a candidate's motivation DNA won't survive your company culture, do you even interview them? It redefines what it means to build a team.
A little exciting, a little terrifying, the best kind of deep dive. That is it for our look at the leadership advantage. Thanks for tuning in.
Find out more about MQI and LiDi AI by visiting our website at talentmotives.com.